Hey, good morning, everyone. It is May 18th, 2022. I think. Pretty sure it is. So last night, after I stopped filming, I went ahead and cut the grass because that lawnmower actually has headlights on it, and I still have to do all the trim work around the edges, all the weeds and everything. So I unboxed the. This is the Milwaukee M18 brushless 2828-21. It actually comes with a 6 XC6 high output battery. This is just an 8.0 I had laying around that was already charged. I just assembled the thing, and let's see how it works. Let's see what happens on Turtle. Oh yeah. This thing shreds. Well, that was fun. I better put some safety glasses on. All right, back here on the north side of the shop, I've got weeds everywhere, and I have this giant cluster of burdock right here that I'm going to try to hammer down with that weed whacker, whatever it's called, string trimmer. I call it a weed whacker. So here on the north side of the shop, I've got trash, and I got my compost pile going right there, and a bunch of weeds that I really don't care whether they grow or not. However, I do want to see what this weed whacker does to that big hunk of burdock right there. Well, not only did it cut it down, but now I also have nice finely chopped mulch everywhere back here, and apparently some trash that's blown back here as well. Yeah, not too bad. I finished all the way around the house and all the way around like the shop and everything. So I've always owned gas powered stuff, and this is the first time I decided to go electric with this stuff. Besides, right now the technology for electric is just as good as, if not better than, gas powered stuff, so why not? Yeah, it definitely did the trick and was a lot of fun, which is even more important. So all right, let's get into the shop. What, you want to be petted, Mittens? Is this what you want? Oh. All right, I'm at the Home Depot here looking for that plywood, that really good high quality plywood, and they don't have it here. I'm at the wrong Home Depot. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and wait on the trim. I'm gonna wait until I get my bandsaw put together, and once the bandsaw is together, then I can just rip some construction grade lumber down, run it through the planer and the joiner, and I'll have, you know, any size, you know, quality premium boards you want. So I'll just wait until I get some electricity ran. Yeah, it just makes more sense. All right, let's head to the other Home Depot and get some drywall and stuff too. I could get it here, but we'll get everything at the same place. All right, we've got 4 more sheets of that heavy 3/4 inch high quality plywood. We got 5 sheets of drywall, and everything is in the back of my Tacoma, being held in by 1 piece of military parachute cord, 550 pound breaking strength, and I think we got more than 550 pounds here, so we'll see what happens. All right, I'm back. I got these 4 sheets of plywood unloaded. Got the 5 sheets of drywall also unloaded. Now I have 2 sheets of that drywall in here, and I think what I'm gonna do with the drywall, I've got 5 sheets, so I wanna have, basically this entire partition is gonna be drywall. So 1 sheet, 2 sheets, 3 sheets, and on the other side, 4 and 5. So that's what we're gonna do with the drywall. I got 4 sheets of the plywood. This side, this is all gonna be plywood, so that's gonna take probably 2 sheets. And over there, where that pocket door is, we're gonna cover that up, and then we'll have 1 remaining sheet of plywood for the French cleats. Now, the thing is, I cannot install any plywood here, not until I get my table saw and get it running, because I need to make the French cleats and install them from behind before I install the wall. So I can't make the French cleats without the table saw, and so there you go. So these will be stored for a little while until I do get a table saw and get it running. So in the meantime, we can absolutely install this drywall and get that entire thing done, both sides. That means we can start work on the pay dirt room as far as organizing, building a workbench, building a table, building shelves, building all that stuff in here. The panning station is gonna go over there, maybe central, not sure. Gonna have sluice boxes and stuff set up, and a lot of shelves are gonna be going in here, and probably over here as well, probably up higher. I gotta leave some room for the electrical panel because that whole thing's gonna be changed out. It's gonna take up more room for all the electrical that's gonna be going in over here. Another thing we can work on is the door jambs and the trim. And right now, again, the air compressor is supposed to be here today. I didn't even call him. You know, I have no faith in freight delivery companies anymore. So whatever, you know, if it gets here, it gets here. If it doesn't, well, too bad. But I do have a spot for it. That air compressor is going to be going back in this corner. And then that's another project. Once it gets here and we get electricity run to it, I'm going to build a small somewhat soundproof room for it, and also a vent out the back because it's an air compressor. It needs air to run. And yeah, that'll be where the air compressor goes. I never got a phone call.
But it's inside anyway.
It's not inside. I need this in my shop, dude. How do you like that? All right. He went and got the pallet jack again for me, because there's no way I can move this thing. This thing weighs probably 600-700 pounds. Something like that. I don't know. It's stupidly heavy. I tried moving it and I can't even budge it. So that's going to be fun, trying to figure out how to get that on the ground. But we'll deal with that in a minute. Got to shut the door, and yeah, it works out. So I went out to go get something to eat, and I never got a phone call. They said delivery at 5 p.m. And then my security system goes off saying there's someone in my driveway, and I check it out thinking it might have been Heather, but it was the delivery. And so I was only 5 minutes away from home. So I'm talking through the camera, wait there, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And he's looking at the camera, so I know he hears me. Whatever, we got it in here. And now we have all of the deliveries that have been promised. Now we just got to order a couple more tools and we're good to go. So we've got the dust collector, the wide belt sander, the bandsaw, air compressor. We need a drill press, we need a table saw, we need a small joiner, and we need a big planer. So what I decided on as far as the planing and joining, so in the past when I would get raw lumber in, you know, big long 8-quarter lumber like this, and I would process it and break it down into guitar-sized pieces, the first thing I would do is take one face of the material, one piece of the wood, and I would run it over a 10-inch joiner, right? That would make one true side that I can then run into a planer, making it perfectly parallel, right? You can't just take a rough piece of wood like this and jam it into a planer, because then when you flip it over, one side will be higher and it won't be right, you know? So there's a way around buying a giant, expensive, heavy joiner, and that is to make a special sled for the planer in order to basically save yourself a whole bunch of money by using the planer as a joiner. So basically what you would do is like, I would take a piece of this Baltic birch, for example. I'd put a little, like a 3/4 inch piece of wood over here. I would set this up against it, and if there's any movement in that board, I would shim underneath it. Really, I mean, you don't have to spend too much time at this. You know, it is a lot easier to just use a joiner and then run it through the planer, but for the amount of money and the amount of space a giant joiner takes up, I think that this might be the way we're gonna go. So anyway, you would just quickly shim it, shove it through the planer, just a little bit at a time, and then once you got that entire face done, then you can flip it over and run it through the planer, and you got exactly the same result as if you would have that big, expensive 10-inch joiner. Actually, Grizzly only makes a 12, they don't make a 10-inch, they only make a 12-inch, so they're not cheap, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I could make a couple hundred guitars doing it this way. If the business starts getting really, you know, lucrative or whatever, then I can splurge and get myself one of those nice joiners. All right, here it is. This is my air compressor. This is a Ingersoll Rand 80-gallon, 5 horsepower. Yeah, this is pretty much, you know, a commercial grade air compressor. This is for, like, if you paint cars, if you have a lot of air tools, this is the one that you want to have. This is, so when I'm spraying guitars and when I'm running my palm sander, my orbital palm sander for sanding guitars, this is the exact perfect thing. Plus, this sander requires constant air in order to run. So this was necessary to have. All right, so we're getting ready to install the drywall. I just cut it right there, 6 inches short, so it would hit this stud here. I got everything blocked out for the panning station. Panning station's gonna be pretty much right there. And that'll give me a space on the other side of this wall for like a couple like low shelves and an area to hang classifiers and, you know, snuffer bottles and all that kind of stuff. So this is gonna be the panning station area on the other side of this. I got 2 sheets of drywall on this side because I'm gonna obviously do the entire that side. And I have it so jammed full of stuff in there, I couldn't really go around the other way. So I had to bring the drywall in this way. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drywall this side. I'm probably gonna block out up here because I plan on hanging guitars all over the place here. So if I put a few blocks in, you know, at probably a foot below the top, then I'll know where I can screw in my guitar hangers. TV's already blocked out. And once I get the drywall up, I'm sure I'll figure out that I didn't block enough things, and that'll be an issue. But I mean, I got studs. I got triple studs here. I got, you know, everything's 16 on center, so it'll be fine. And I'm probably gonna leave this go because this is just the inside, which is 3/4 inch plywood, which I can, you know, make shelves or whatever I want to do here. So I'm gonna finish the video actually. Heather came in and she said that she wants me to finish working by 5 or 5:30. All right, so I got yelled at for working too much. I've been working like 16, 18 hours a day in here doing this stuff. And so Heather wants to have a family night by the fire, and which is great. I'll be happy to do that. And we kind of came to a compromise. Before I moved to Colorado, I'm what you would call a workaholic. I used to work as much as I possibly could without getting in trouble when I worked in a factory. I was working 16-hour nights because it was night shift. I'd, you know, go in at like 3, 4 p.m. and work all the way till like 9 o'clock the next morning. So, and then I would do that 6 days a week. The only reason I wasn't doing 7 is because the company I worked for wouldn't allow it. So all I wanted to do was work and work my way up and do better and try to get as much done as possible. And then when you kind of retire from working for somebody else and then you're all of a sudden working for yourself, logic tells me like, okay, I was busting my butt for that many hours every week for years to make somebody else rich. Why shouldn't I do that for myself, right? So that's kind of like my mindset. But she kind of like told me, she's like, yeah, that makes sense, but you got to take a break too, or you'll wear yourself out. But I mean, my knee's messed up, my back's messed up. So that's kind of like my mindset here. So I'm gonna, respect what she said, try to take a break, stop at 5:30. I compromised with her though. I told her, I'm like, okay, but I can get up as early as I want, right? Like 3 a.m. I'll be in here, and then 5 o'clock I still get my 12 hours. So anyway, that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.